Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming. I know it's the holidays and rather sleep. But we're going to go over functional movement because functional movement is very, very important in understanding the process. And once you get functional movement, then you can start healing the body. So if you have incomplete motion, we don't realize that it creates some of the disability that we have. So one of the biggest examples are the knees. If you can't completely flex and extend your knees, you can't expect them to heal. Because it's a joint face and all the joints in the human body are the same way. They're avascular. That means they don't have a blood supply to them. So they heal by something called imbrication or imbibing. So at night when you're sleeping, when you take the pressure off the main part of the joint that you sit on all day long, the joints rehydrate. They're like sponges. They'll start soaking up the fluid that's inside the joint, and it'll start the healing process. But you have to be able to take the joint through the full range of motion. So that means opening up the muscles. And that's why you'll hear Maria and I talking about not stretching the joint, but stretching the muscle, because that's very important. And even not stretching the ligament so much. You'll get the ligament by nature, but the goal is to not stretch the ligament. And in order to do that, you have to work with alignment. So that's where we'll start. Feet parallel, like you're on a set of skis. We're going to go hips width apart. So this is called your ASIS. This is your pubic symphysis. Midway in between is actual hips width apart. So it's a lot more narrow than you think. Everyone thinks this is hips width apart, but it's actually a lot more narrow. And then you're going to push down with your big toe and the corresponding metatarsal head, the outer four toes and the corresponding metatarsal head, but especially that pinky toe, and finally your heel. 1/3 the weight's going to go through the ball of your feet, 1/3 the weight through your toes, and finally 1/3 the weight through your heels. You're going to slightly bend your knees as you externally rotate. We're going to let your hips glide back slightly, and this is where we fire things up. First chakra we're going to refer to as the pelvic floor. Second chakra is your lower abs. Third chakra is your upper abs. I want you to activate all of that as you get your head over the top of your pelvic floor. We're going to work on what's called athletic ready posture. You're going to work to make the lower body really springy and the upper body really lifted to activate something called the righting reflex. Okay? Suck in that tummy. And this is where we start. Close your eyes and see what it feels like. Notice if you swayed back to your heels, or did you sway forward, or did you go heavy on one side or the other, or did your head tip down? Keep your eyes, ears, nose, and mouth to the horizon even though your eyes are closed. And then notice the crazy thing. Are you breathing? If not, just start. Notice what this feels like. Try to keep it in your center. How long before your core shuts off? Keep it activated. How long before you want to straighten your legs, because that saves you energy? Abs are nice and tight. And now you're going to balance on your left foot with your eyes closed. See what that feels like? Notice how much you bobble or sway. It is okay. This is the time to do it. Not when you're on a 12-story building and it's nighttime and it's windy. This is the time to do it. So if you have to fall over, but do it with control. Don't, hit the ground hard. Okay, just feel what balance feels like. Try to keep the work in the lower half of the body.
Relax your face, your neck, and your hands.
And breathe. As you put your foot back down, keep your eyes closed. Now, notice how you want to immediately open your eyes. Balance on your right foot. See what it feels like to balance here. Did your head bend over? Did your butt tuck? Notice what kind of little compensations you may have accidentally created in order to create balance. Notice if you're breathing once again, and start. Relax your face. Nothing scarier than a bunch of angry people on one foot with their eyes closed. Smiles are up. Because sooner or later, the wind's going to blow, something's going to happen, and your eyes are going to be closed, and you're going to be balancing on one foot. Come on, back onto 2 feet. Keep your eyes closed. This is where it gets, you got to listen in. Right foot goes forward off of the ground. Left hand goes forward off the ground. Right hand goes back behind you. It's like you're taking a stride forward. You're balancing on your left foot, Annie. Right foot is forward. Left hand is forward, right hand is back. Now we're going to make sure it's at the right alignment. Your hand should be at the level of your navel. That's your belly button. Your right hand should be the same height behind you, and you're balancing. Remember, you're not using your face, we're using the core. Okay, staying on this left foot. Take your right leg back behind you. Right hand forward, left hand back. It's like you're pushing off. Try to keep your feet parallel, and I know it's really hard to feel, but try to keep it parallel. That'll prevent you from duck walking. Abs are nice and tight. Remember where your belly button is. Some of you are getting all the way up to your nose with that front hand. Front hand should be at the level of your belly button. I'll say it again, belly button. And your left hand's back behind you to the same height.
Behind you.
Behind you. Like you're taking a step, pushing off behind you. If you can balance in this position over a lifetime, you get to keep your butt. Okay, now you're standing on your right foot. Oh, you can breathe now. Take your left foot forward, right hand forward, left hand back, and you're breathing. Smiling up. Y'all are getting too intense. Keep breathing. Chest is up, abs are engaged. First, second, third chakras. So that's your pelvic floor, lower abs, upper abs. Remember where your belly button is. It's not in your throat. Rear hand's as high as your front hand. Keep breathing as you now take your left leg behind you, right hand behind you, left hand forward. Keep your eyes to the horizon, even though your eyes are closed. And remember to breathe. This is important if you dance. Rock climb.
Oxygen to the brain is important.
Oh yeah, to anyone.
If you're a human.
Living human.
Yes.
Okay, come back on 2 feet. Go ahead and open your eyes, reset your stance, reset your positioning in case you rotated. Once again, hips width apart. Pushing down big toe, little toe, all the rest of the toes. 1/3 the weight through your balls of your feet, 1/3 the weight through your toes, 1/3 the weight through your heels. And this is where we begin. So you're going to grab your ball, and we're going to put it underneath our left foot. You're going to roll your foot out. Remember, the pain that you're feeling has nothing to do with this ball. It has to do with what you do with your foot all week long.
So make sure your feet are parallel and both legs are going to be straight. You initiate the movement from your hip rather than just below your knees.
Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and heart to the horizon. So don't look down. There's nothing interesting on the ground. Keep breathing. Don't look down. Smiles are up. Just roll things out. You can go side to side definitely, but keep your feet parallel. That's so important. Okay. Now, drop your heel down. The ball's under the ball of your foot. We're going to work on some foot flexibility as you take your right foot and try to help it curl around the toes. Curl, 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 curl. Curl those toes. Abs are nice and tight. Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and heart to the horizon. Smile up. You don't have to look at your foot to know it's in pain. Keep breathing. Don't look at the ground. The ground is gray and wrinkled, and as we said before, it's like looking at an elephant's butt. That's just rude. Don't look at Eyes up. Don't be rude, Nicole. Don't stare at the elephant's butt. Okay. Now we're going to take that ball underneath your heel. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking your tummy. You're going to go nice and tall and long. Lock out your leg. You're going to step forward, step back, hips back. You're just feeling what this feels like. Keep breathing. This helps with something called plantar fascia or fasciitis. Keep your abs engaged. It's about lifting energy. It's not about how much pain can I inflict on my foot. Smiles are up. We smile up because it activates something called your frontal cortex. The frontal cortex in your okay, switch sides. In your brain is there to form relationships, and not only with other people, but with yourself, or with a movement, or a part of your body, or your environment. Roll out your feet. Keep your feet parallel. Abs are nice and tight. Parallel, like you're on a set of skis. I don't care if you got a dance background. Your feet are going
We're
to go
calling out all the turnouts in this class.
And then we're going to get crazy because you're not going to look down and you're going to breathe. Jaws relax. Notice if this foot's more tender than the other foot. It shouldn't be. But if it is, it's your fault. It's not the ball's fault. Oh. Okay.
That's what we do when we stretch each other a lot. It's like, it's not me, it's what you did today.
And then drop your heel down. Ball goes under the ball of your foot as you take your left heel and you're going to push down those toes. Keep breathing. So use that heel to push down those toes. Don't pretend you didn't hear us. Jen's just like, I'm not talking to me. Toes down. Oh. This should not be painful. This should be like a massage. Relax your eyebrows. Okay, and now take the ball just in front of your heel. Leg goes straight, step forward, step back, hips back. Keep breathing. When I lived in Santa Barbara, I used to work with a basketball team. And one of the things that used to make me crazy is that they would do this beautiful warm-up, but they wouldn't warm up their feet. And they wondered why they had so many sprained ankles.
Did you ever get to the bottom of it?
Yeah, they didn't warm up their feet. I'm like, so we created a whole warm-up, which is a lot of it is this. Okay, and then you're going to come off the ball and just see what it feels like to stand first. You should feel like your arches have lifted, or if not anything else, you should feel tension in your calves. Okay, abs are nice and tight. Head over the top of your pelvic floor as you now put the block underneath the ball of your left foot. Once again, your feet are parallel, abs are nice and tight. We're going to work on opening up what's called the gastrocnemius. Chest is up, head's over the top of your body. You're going to pump your hips forward. Samaria's son Kai is going through like preseason basketball
tryouts.
And we were stretching him and doing stuff with him, working on his body, and he was kind of resistant to it. But then like about a week and a half ago, he's just like, are we gonna stretch today? Because he started noticing everyone else was sore and he wasn't, and then that his performance is improving. Abs are nice and tight.
He's like, you know, I can hit the backboard every time now.
Oh, wow.
A weekend.
The
So.
bottom of it?
Tightness. Suck in your tummy. Okay, this is where we get crazy. This is functional movement. You're step forward, your hips are going to go forward, your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and heart to the horizon. Step back, hips back. Keep your feet parallel, whether it's in the front or the rear. Even if you're a dancer, you're going to keep those feet parallel. Step forward, hips forward. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in that tummy. I don't hear a whole lot of breathing, so we're going to breathe. We're going to smile up to activate that frontal cortex. Ah, yes. This is opening up the gastrocnemius. The gastrocnemius is responsible for upper body positioning. So that anterior head carriage is actually caused by, that was 10. Forward fold. You're going to use your roller because we want a straight spine. You're going to activate first, second, third chakras. So that's your first, second, your pelvic floor, lower abs, and upper abs.
So try to keep your feet parallel and next to each other as best you can. Lift the arches of your feet.
Yep.
Connect the energy through your inner thighs, lifting the pelvic floor. Squeeze your belly button to your spine, shortening the distance between the pubic bone and belly button. Really, really use your abs to bring the upper body closer to your legs. And most importantly, keep breathing.
Nobody's ever died from this, so you don't have to worry.
At least not that we know of.
Not that we haven't hidden in the dumpster out back. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to stay in this position. This is where it gets a little bit weird. This is going to work on functional balance. I want you to tighten up your abs as you bend and straighten your right leg. Try to keep your feet parallel, your spine straight, long through your shoulders. Go, Nicole, like a this. Take that foot clearly off the ground. This will help you with your dancing. Go ahead, Nicole, on the old time. There you go.
Like you're trying to kick the flies away.
Or the mosquitoes. Anyone else getting chewed up by mosquitoes right now? No, just me? Yeah. It's because of me. You're not being chewed up.
10.
Okay? Come up nice and tall. Abs are nice and tight. We're going to counter stretch. So you're going to go up, push your hips forward. Arms go over the top of your head. You're going to pump your hips forward. Your right, left foot is still on the block.
Keep your abs engaged.
No pressure in your low back. In fact, you shouldn't feel any of this stretch in any joints because we're stretching muscles and not joints. Feet are parallel.
10.
Okay. Fine, let's switch sides. Okay, we're up here in this position. Abs are nice and tight. We're going to start out with pumping our hips forward, sucking that tummy. Abs are nice and tight. First, second, third chakras are on. Keep breathing. Jaws relaxed. Smiles are up.
And yes, if you have tighter calves, the baby block actually helps. Or if your feet are really small. If you have really big feet or looser calves, the bigger block helps. 10.
Okay, and there we go. Step forward, hips go forward, step back, hips go back. Don't let your abs shut off. This is what's really important. Keep your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and heart to the horizon. This is so when you're hiking and your heel drops down, you don't have to slam your face into the ground. Smiles are up. Step forward, step back, hips back. There you go. Keep breathing. Keep smiling up.
10.
Okay, good. What do we do? Forward fold. Whoa, stretch. Now you're starting to see how much the tight calf can affect shoulder mobility. So if you feel tightness in your shoulder as you do this, it's because of your calf. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Your smiles are up.
Keep pulling energy from the arches of your feet, connecting through the inner thighs, lifting your pelvic floor, shortening the distance between the pubic bone and belly button. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
Just elongate.
And breathe.
And here you go. We're going to add the bending and straightening of the left leg. It'll help you with tap dancing and river dancing. Keep breathing.
10.
Whoa. Okay, we're going to come back up again. We're going to counter stretch it. Your foot's on the block. Abs are nice and tight. Arms go over the top of your head. You're going to pump your hips forward. You okay over there, Nicole?
Keep your abs engaged.
Keep breathing. Smiles are up. No pain in any joint.
10.
Okay, come off the block. Stand, feet parallel. Notice once again what stance feels like. Notice how you're more naturally in your forefoot and less on your heels. In fact, the heel of the human foot is not meant for functional work. It's either meant for resting or stretching. So we're not supposed to be on top of it. So if you find yourself during the day a lot on your heels, it means you're resting a little too much. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. I'm thinking, what does this group need? Oh, dancers. Okay. We're going to put...
Figure 4.
What's that?
Butt stretch.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Block goes back under the ball of your left foot. Will allow us to be mirror image to you. You're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee. Abs are nice and tight. You can hold the bar. That's all.
Abs are nice and tight, chest up, shoulder blades down and back, sucking that tummy. And here we go, we're gonna go into a stretch. Where you should feel this stretch is in your gastrocnemius, now your soleus muscle, and your glute max of your right side.
Where's your soleus?
Soleus is your calf muscle. It's a deep calf muscle that only crosses your ankle, so the only way to stretch it is actually with a bent knee. Any old time, Jen?
I'm working on it.
I'll come help you.
And if you want, you can bring your toes, lift your toes up.
You got about
And
as
deepen
small
the
as it gets. Just notice the stretch. Notice if you're breathing. Abs are nice and tight. Notice if your right arm is shaking like crazy because you're overusing it.
Keep
Remember-
your chest up.
Chest up, Nicole. And
We do know your love of elephants, but
remember, we're stretching muscles and not joints. So if you feel it in a joint, figure out what you have to restabilize, what do you have to turn on to protect it. As we now straighten that left leg with your leg crossed. And we're gonna lean over and touch the block. Abs are nice and tight. I'm gonna help Jen. Okay, now lean over. I gotcha. Yep. Toe up with this foot then.
keep breathing.
There you go.
10.
And then slowly
Coming up.
come back up again. Abs are nice and tight. Keep your legs crossed. Take your arms over the top of your body. You can do a Michael and leave your hand on the roller, or you can do a Maria and take both hands in the air. There. See, I did it. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Whoo! This is counter stretching everything a dancer does. Okay, switch sides. Keep breathing. Here we go again. You're going to cross your left ankle over your right knee, and you're going to sit into it. Watch the alignment. Make sure that knee stays over top of your foot, and I'm talking about your right knee. Notice if one side's easier or more difficult than the other side, or exactly the same. Chest up. So when you feel stretch on the soleus, this deep calf muscle, the tendency is to want to round down. And like when you're out in the real world and that happens, you slam your face into the ground. So we have to learn to get our chest up while we're in this position. Lower down deeper. Feel the stretch in your butte and your calf. Breathing. Eyes up. Nothing's interesting on this ground. Yes. Abs, abs, abs. Suck, 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 suck in that tummy. Yeah, it doesn't really help, does it? Okay. Is it 10 yet?
10.
Okay, straighten that bottom leg. Remember, we're stretching muscles and not joints. You can lean on over and touch the ground or the block. Notice if it's doable on one side and wasn't so doable on the other side. Right, Jens? We call that muscular imbalance. Muscular imbalance leads to bad things. So we're trying to balance out anything that's imbalanced.
10.
Okay, come back up nice and tall as you take both hands or one hand above your head. Push your hips forward, suck in that tummy, hold, and maintain your balance. Is this stuff hard? Yes. Is it supposed to be? Yes. Because you don't do this normally during the day, unless you wave to people a lot like this. Hello? Okay, good. Go ahead, shake out your legs, see how things are feeling. Okay. We're going to step your, let's see, we just did that foot. Right, left foot forward, right foot back. We're going to do a stretch. We're going to start with the strength thing though. You're going to stay in this position, abs are nice and tight. You're going to take your arms back behind you. You're going to hinge forward from the hip, no pressure in your low back. We don't want any muscle, any work in your joints, especially those back joints.
So really bend the front knee and try to imagine there's a board behind you. You're going to kind of shoot energy straight through the crown of your head all the way through your back heel. Straight line.
Your knee is over the top of your foot. That's your left knee is over the top of your foot. Abs are nice and tight. You should feel this in your butt, not in your back. Suck in your tummy. Ah, yes, the shakies start. Chest up, smiles up. You get to contract your right butt cheek on this one. And then you're gonna put your, what is this? Right forearm on your left thigh. You're gonna rotate, woo, your chest over to the left. Lift up nice and tall. Keep smiling. Smiles are up. Doesn't cost but 1/10 of a calorie.
Keep
didn't
that
have
back
breakfast.
leg energized.
Yes, that's the ball. Okay, come on back up again. Abs are nice and tight. You can put your hand on top of the roller. As you lean forward, we're gonna stretch deep. Try to have a straight spine, abs stabilized. This is stretching out your glute max, but simultaneously strengthening. This is what's unusual about this, is it's stretch strengthening. Keep breathing. Okay, then you're gonna bend your leg. Go ahead, grab it behind you. That's your right hand with your right leg with your left hand. And we're just gonna come up and do a runner stretch. Okay, the goal is to keep your knees together. Nothing makes me crazier than see runners stretch their leg like this, because I've never seen a runner run like that. It's here. Now, abs engaged, push your hips forward. Keep breathing. Now we're gonna work on that quad and butt strength, not knee strength, but quad and butt strength. You're gonna push your hip back as you lower down like you're trying to touch your knee down, and then come back out. Keep breathing. Abs are nice and tight. Awesome.
Don't forget to relax your face and breathe.
Breathe. That means like oxygen, like humans, not like amphibians through your skin. What number is that?
7. Enough. 9. 10.
Okay, we are switching sides. You're gonna take that right leg forward, left foot back, abs are nice and tight, knees over top of your foot. You're gonna take your arms back behind you as you hinge forward. You're putting all the work in your butt and your quad, not in your low back. There should be no pressure in your low back. Rear heel is off the ground, and you're breathing.
Fire everything up, pressing up against the board, shooting energy through the crown of your head all the way through the back heel.
Smiles are up.
Lifting the pelvic floor, back leg fired up.
Keep breathing. Okay, then you're gonna take that forearm across your thigh, and you're gonna rotate with the long spine. No pressure in any joint. Sucking your tummy.
Keep breathing.
And if you're like me, you're thinking, how come we don't pronounce a whole bunch of letters in the word thigh?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
10.
Okay, come on up, grab a hold of the roller, and you're gonna stretch forward. This will help you get it out of your low back, keep your abs engaged. Should feel a nice stretch in your butt.
Try to feel the separation between the lower body pushing energy down and the upper body lifting out from your hips.
Breathe.
10.
Okay. Now, you're going to put your... Oh, yeah.
Forgot.
Yes, thank you.
A whole
Reach
segment.
back. Oh, I forgot a whole segment. Bring your knees together. Chest is up. Abs are nice and tight. Push those hips forward. And breathe.
Nobody in this class is going to be cheated.
Yes, you will not be cheated. What's really funny is when you guys hold your breath and pass out. Just so you know, so you don't try it, you don't turn blue.
10.
Okay, you turn pale instead. We're gonna do our little squatty things. Try to get your hips to go back, no pressure in your knee. If you go forward, that will put pressure in your knee, but if your booty comes out, you won't. And this is getting you set up to do something called the pistol, which sadly we lose the ability to do, and we should be able to do because it gets us off the floor safely. What number is that?
9. 10.
Good. Now we shall put our left knee on the block. Right foot forward. We're going to start out by working what's called the righting reflex. We're going to keep the head perfectly still. So the head's over the top of the block. Your abs are engaged. Shoulder blades are down and back. You're smiling. And we're going to do a hip circle. Don't move your head. Because if you move your head in real life with your hips, they think you're kind of crazy. But if you can hold your hips still, they're like, ooh, sultry. Abs. 10.
8. 10.
Opposite direction. Yes, make sure you can go in both directions so you don't become like Zoolander. Abs are nice and tight.
10.
You can't turn right. Okay? We're going to work balance for a second. Left hand forward, right hand back. You're going to lift, hold, gently lower. Take your left toes off the ground simultaneously. Lift, hold, gently lower. Smiles are up. Lift, hold, gently lower. Gently, softly, breathingly, happily, quietly.
10.
Okay, oops, I gotta move a little bit. Okay, here's where it gets fun. Take your foot up off the ground. Hold it off the ground. Do a hip circle. Should be easy if you're a dancer. Come on, my dancers.
10.
Go in the opposite direction. Super easy if you're a flight attendant because you're never on stable ground.
Hold your hand.
10.
Okay, we're gonna stretch forward now. We're gonna open up the rectus femoris. Another big postural muscle. If this one's tight, you're gonna tuck your tail. Abs are nice and tight, sucking your tummy.
So it's really easy to sink into this, especially if you're flexible, but really try to keep the pelvic floor and lower abs engaged as you sink in.
Abs are nice and tight. No pressure in your low back because we're stretching muscles and not joints. Keep breathing. Oh, deeper. Deeper. Watch the alignment, knee over the top of your foot. Don't let it go medial. Abs are nice and tight. And staying in this position, you're gonna take your right hand, grab a hold of your left foot, and we're gonna stretch out that rectus femoris. Right hand, left foot. There you go. Keep breathing, stretch. Now we're gonna twist over to the right.
Continue to keep the pelvic floor lifted, lower abs engaged.
It is okay if you feel a tearing feeling above your kneecap because it's not actually tearing, it is the tightness of your quad muscle that you're opening up. It's called referral. So it's referring from a more, talk about it later, it's Head's Law, it's kind of difficult. You're gonna take your front leg straight now. You're gonna move it across midline, and then you're gonna pull your hip into your socket.
So really pull that leg back into your socket.
And then you're gonna use your roller to reach forward.
Again, keeping the pelvic floor, lower abs, all engaged.
So Head's Law states if you have a nerve innervating two different tissues, let's say a ligamentous tissue and a muscular tissue, when there's a low-grade stimulus and the brain doesn't know what it is, it's always going to default to the more sensitive tissue that's more valuable. So that's your ligament.
So that's why as we're stretching the quad, it feels like it's your knee ripping apart.
10.
And then come back up again. We're gonna switch sides. We start out with the riding reflex, so get your head over the top of the block, abs nice and tight, and you're gonna do a hip circle. Every motion, every athletic motion is hidden in this hip circle. So the better you can do a hip circle, the more athletic you are. If you can't do a complete hip circle, you have to compensate into another part of your body. Typically it's your neck or your knees. Abs are nice and tight. Smiles are up.
10.
Okay, let's go in the opposite direction. And we're breathing. That's fine, that's still breathing.
10.
Okay. Oh yes, we did balance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right hand forward, left hand back. You're gonna take your right toes off the ground, lift, hold, gently lower. Don't use your mouth, lift, hold, gently lower. Lift, hold, gently lower. Keep breathing. Lift. Keep breathing. Keep smiling. All very important because this is eliminating your knee and your foot's ability to compensate, and you have to use your core.
10.
Good.
Lift hip circle.
Yep. Hands up. Lift your foot up off the ground. We're going to do hip circles. Hip circles, hip circles, hip circles. Smiles are up. Come on, dancers. Show us how it's done. Keep breathing.
10.
Opposite direction. I think it's interesting. All the dancers have shown us what the ground is by touching it.
10.
Okay, good. We're going to stretch forward. Abs are nice and tight. We're opening up what's called the rectus femoris again. Oh, get deeper. No pressure in your low back. If you feel pressure in your low back, it means you have to tighten something. That's the same with your knee. You may actually have to tighten the muscle we're stretching in order to protect the knee. Suck in your tummy a little bit further forward. Smiles are up.
Keep lifting pelvic floor, lower abs engaged.
10.
10.
Okay, reach back, grab your foot. We're going to stretch deeper. This is your rectus femoris. This is to help you take longer strides instead of short little itsy bitsy strides.
Where is it?
It's right there. That's yours, not mine. Okay, and then you're going to rotate off to the left. This is a great opportunity for you to look at that muscle anatomy poster up there and see what muscles you're stretching. Yeah. Yeah, all the red things are being stretched. We're staying away from all the white connective tissues.
10.
Okay, good. We're going to take this leg across midline, pull it into our body. Abs are engaged, toe to your nose. Remember, we're stretching muscles and not joints as we lean forward first with our right hand. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Nicole, when you teach, do you teach in mirror image or do you teach? Yeah. So you're as screwed up as we are.
Right is right and left is left.
Abs are nice and tight. Oh, thank God.
No, I was staring at the ants. There's ants.
Oh. Okay. Come on to your knees now. This is because Annie was just whispering in my ears. Don't forget these. Okay, we're going to stretch out the quads, but at the same time, we're going to stretch out your toes, or the extensor digitorum longus. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to lean back. We're going to do sit-ups from here. Hands are on the block if you have short arms like me. You're going to suck in your tummy and then release. Suck in your tummy and release. Suck in your tummy and release. This is a great way to do sit-ups because it teaches you can stretch a part of your body and have your abs on. What number is that?
6.
6. Smiles are up.
Okay. Now you're going to lean back, take your knees off the ground. This should be cake for dancers. Come on, dancer. Abs are nice and tight. We do sit-ups again. Suck it in, release. Suck it in, release. Suck it in, release. Woohoo! If you hear a snapping sound, it's Nicole. This is Annie's favorite. Okay, let's curl your toes under now. This is important. If you feel excessive pressure in your metatarsal heads, those are knuckles of your toes. It means to push your hips back. Okay? Now that you're in that position, lean back. Keep your knees together. That means your knees are together.
And your feet?
Yeah, oh yes, yes. Remember, if your toes feel like they're going to snap off, push your heels back. Here we go again, sit-ups. Suck in your tummy, release. Not all sit-ups are done on your back. Not all sit-ups are done with your neck, so keep your neck relaxed. Ooh, you have such a lovely six-pack neck.
Said no one ever.
Yes.
10.
Okay, now push your hips forward. Abs are nice and tight. Hips forward, Nicole. The other place you might feel it are in your biceps, and that's okay.
So if you're feeling it, really try to keep the inner thighs connected, pelvic floor lifted, lower abs engaged.
And you're breathing.
Eight, 9, 10.
Good, let's come forward. And you're gonna massage out your feet by slightly kicking the ground and making sure the business below us is.
Wake them all up.
Okay, now we are going to do some pelvic floor work. Okay, you're gonna put your block down. You're gonna put your ball on top of your block. Do you have a ball?
You're going to sit on the ball, on top of the block. And the ball's going to end up between your pubic bone and your tailbone.
Yeah, so your knees are bent. Yeah. So we want to work what's called the pubococcygeus muscle. It's a very important muscle, especially for your jumper. It's what you jump, and so you don't pee in your pants, or if you frequent comedy shows. Head is over the top of the ball. Shoulder blades are down and back. This is where we learn alignment. That head will stay over the top of the ball as we now do sit-ups. You're going to contract and squeeze a ball into almost a cone shape as you tighten your abs and then release. Tighten, release. But what don't we use?
Relax those glute muscles.
So you're not using your butt to make this happen. You're using your pelvic floor, like you got 10 cups of coffee and 2 bran muffins.
So anytime one muscle engages, you have another one that needs to relax. So if you're clenching your butt, your pelvic floor really has to fight it in order to fully engage.
Relax your face. Don't let people know you're using your pelvic floor because it just happens. Relax your face. Just tighten your pelvic floor. I think you can take your roller, put it behind your back. Abs are nice and tight. You're going to start out by keeping your pelvic floor nice and tight, keeping your rib cage closed. That's the most important part. And then you're just going to move your head and neck around. It's okay if you hear crunching and grinding. It's like your poor neck has been doing all the work. Keep breathing. And then just roll the roller a little higher as you do this.
Sticky arms.
Squeak, 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 squeak. Jaws relaxed, abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in that tummy. Pelvic floor is on. You don't want this ball to end up in your mouth. Only one person got that.
The best part is I saw him visualizing it.
Okay, and then we're gonna put the roller behind your head. Okay, so the temptation on this one is to push your head forward. You're gonna bring your head up over the top of the ball. That means you have to create external rotation of your shoulders.
And keeping your rib cage from popping open. Keep it connected.
As you now just twist, rotate, move. Do extension as much as you do flexion. So yesterday was Maria's birthday.
Thank you.
That's why I wasn't sure if she was coming today. Guess what she did for her birthday? She went out for a run. I'm like, you have fun. Yeah. No, I was at home, putting out the thought she could do it well. Okay, we're gonna do some quick balance work here. Pelvic floor balancing. You're gonna take your right foot forward. We're gonna continue our sit-ups. You're gonna suck in your tummy and release, suck in your tummy and release. Right foot's forward. This is an asymmetrical load on your pelvic floor, so this is good to practice. And then we're just gonna twist to the right. You can put your left hand on your booty cheek, head away from your butt, suck in your tummy. Ask yourselves a big question, are you breathing? And then start. Okay, let's switch legs. Told you we're only doing a little bit. First, lift up nice and tall, get everything locked in, get your neck nice and relaxed, and then we'll take it into that rotation to the left. Keep breathing. Everybody has something they do really well, and they have something they don't do so well. Your job is to get the things that aren't so well to work well as the things that do work well, if that makes sense. Breathe. Okay. Come back to center as both feet come forward, and we're gonna do Maria's favorite exercise. Chest is up, you're gonna work your abs in a squat position. Make sure you're not sitting on your tailbone. Abs are nice and tight. We're gonna do sit-ups, suck in your tummy, release, suck in your tummy, release. And then hands going to stick them up. Keep your head over the top of the ball. This is the most important part, and we're gonna bounce. Again, keep that ball out of your mouth by keeping your pelvic floor nice and tight. And then you can add fun motions. 'Cause 'tis the season for peanuts dancing. Has it come out yet? The Charlie Brown cartoons? I haven't seen them.
Don't forget to smile, because
Yeah.
when you're frowning while doing this, it's really awkward.
Okay. Hands on your knees. We're going to go into a recovery position, which is this position. Your feet are parallel and your knees are bent. Now you should actually feel your pelvic floor as you fire it up. Close up your rib cage. We're going to do sit-ups here as you suck your navel into your spine and then release. Do it again. Suck it in. Tighten your pelvic floor simultaneously.
And really, really try to coordinate your breath. Exhale as you squeeze the pelvic floor belly button.
Keep breathing. Yay. From here, your shins are going to go on the roller. Your toes are curled under. We're going to warm up what's called the tibialis anterior. You're going to roll your shins. Your hands will be in stick them up. Roll, roll, roll. The closer this roller is to your ankles, the more balance you need. The closer it is to your knees, the more range of motion your feet are going to get. Just move it around and play with it. There should be no pain in your toes. Keep breathing.
And very shortly into this, it'll feel like the circulation's being lost in your shins, and it's because these shin muscles aren't used to contracting that long. So let's roll out our shins. You're gonna roll your shins. There's two ways of doing it. You can go heavy over your shins, or you can go heavy over your shoulders, bringing your knees to your chest. Those are more sit-ups. What's nice about doing it this way is you can do one leg at a time. But it's a really, go ahead.
So as you're focusing on the shins and the pain in there, don't forget your pelvic floor. Pelvic floor and abs should still be really, really engaged.
And your breathing. Whoo! Okay, what's really nice from here, all you do is roll over onto your thighs, spelled T-H-I-G-H, so your thighs. Abs are nice and tight. Annie and I were thinking that. Roll out your thighs. Anything that feels painful, you're going to bend and straighten your legs to break it up. If you would like, you can go one leg at a time by adding a twist. And once again, if you feel anything it feels not right, bend and straighten your legs and break it up. Remember to breathe, because it's a sign of life. If you take it down all the way to what's called your tensor fasciae lata, the muscle in your hip, you can flex and extend your hip as well. Remember to breathe. You're not going to die from this. So holding your breath doesn't make it better. Just roll. That means back and forth.
It does get you closer to death.
Oh, the whole lamb family is holding their breaths. So my sister used to make fun of me because as a kid, if I were to eat ribs, I couldn't touch it. I can't handle touching food. It's a really weird thing. So my nephew, when he was little, loved ribs, but he went to go eat the ribs and he was doing this. And he didn't know how to grab a hold of the ribs, and I'm like, I know what to do. And I wrapped the ends with aluminum foil. Oh, yes. And he was happy as a bug as a rug, and my sister just sat there with the most. I'm like, it's genetic.
And yes, his nephew is still fine to this day.
Okay, now since you guys are so good at rolling, we're going to go completely onto the side. That's your iliotibial band. You're going to roll out your iliotibial band. If it's too intense, you could put that top foot down. But what we're going to do is the same thing. If you find a sore spot, bend and straighten your leg. If it's sore the whole length of it, your leg shouldn't stop moving. Woo! Isn't this fun? It's just like going to Disneyland.
Is it?
Yeah. Whenever you feel ready, you could go on the other side without even skipping a beat. Whoo! Ah. Okay. You can come back into kneeling now. It should be one heck of a lot easier to kneel now because we have opened up all the muscles and fascial attachments of the thighs.
Nicole is like, why did I wake up Sunday morning early to torture myself?
Now you're going to take this ball and put it underneath your right butt cheek. This is where we have to be careful of hair, jewelry, clothing, and drawstrings as we start rolling out more. You're going to take your right ankle, put it across your left knee. It should look like this. Abs are nice and tight. This is an ab workout. So you're rolling your butt out. We're opening up the glute max piriformis complex. You are breathing. I'm evaluating my mosquito bites. Keep breathing. You can go clockwise, counterclockwise, keep your abs engaged. As it gets easier, you could take your foot off the ground, but keep the majority of work on your butt, not in your wrists. Keep breathing. Remember, the pain you're experiencing has nothing to do with this ball. It has to do with the butt clenching you do all day long. Watch this. Without using, just watch this. You could switch to the other buzzer cheek. You don't even have to lose a second. Switch your legs, Andy. Yes, there you go. Roll it out. When it becomes easier, you could take your foot off the ground if you like. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Smiles are up. Don't use your mouth.
I don't know why, again, only my ball's squeaking.
Yeah.
Everybody else seems to be quiet.
It didn't matter. When we were doing it on Zoom, her ball would squeak. Wooden floors, mats.
Where's the pain supposed to be?
Your booty. Oh, don't you worry. Oh, you're not, but don't you worry.
That means you're not clenching your butt up during the week.
Yes, you're not scared like the rest of us. Okay, now we're gonna take the little orange ball. And you're gonna put that little orange ball under your right butt cheek as you cross your right ankle over your left knee, and you're roll, 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 roll in the hay.
I'd be nervous if it was still squeaky.
Yeah. Like, nope.
Squeaking in it.
Abs are nice and tight. Oh. You can get the side, which is really important to get. This is your glute medius, glute minimus out here. Anyone feel this? The numbness in your toe is okay.
So when you start to feel pain as you stretch or roll things out, it's easy to let your pelvic floor and abs go. So when you feel pain, squeeze, engage your pelvic floor and lower abs even tighter.
That's why when you see a six-pack and you're all impressed, you're like, you must experience a lot of pain.
Better you than me.
Okay, switch sides. It should feel exactly the same. If it doesn't, well, you're using one butt cheek more than the other. Smiles are up. Notice if the tension's going in your neck. Keep it out of your neck. We're actually releasing tension, so it shouldn't transfer somewhere else. And if it were to transfer somewhere else, the abs are a great place to send it. Remember to breathe.
Is that glute saying hello to you this morning?
Yeah. If you want, you can go all the way onto your side to get that glute medius all participating. Do you feel it now?
Oh,
Be
Okay.
careful what you ask for.
Okay, go ahead, come off the ball. Your legs are going to go straight out in front of you. We're going to assess forward fold. Should feel a whole lot easier after opening up your butt, your calves, and your quads. Use your abs to pull yourself forward.
So the forward fold should be really, really active. You're going to keep pulling energy from the arches of your feet, lifting through the inner thighs. Engage your pelvic floor. Shorten the distance between the pubic bone and belly button. You're going to use those abs to bring the upper body closer to your legs.
Good job. Now we're immediately going to counter stretch. You're going to take this ball, put it in the small of your back, and you're going to arch the opposite direction. Once you're in this position, you're going to rock your hips side to side. So this is important. If you feel pressure in your low back, like you feel like your low back is going to snap, that means you accidentally used your psoas muscle. If you feel pressure in the front of your hips, that means you used what's called your iliacus muscle. But if you feel it down what would be your six-pack, that means you used your abs and you did everything correctly.
So it's easy here to kind of splay your legs outward, but try to keep your pelvic floor and lower abs engaged, and that should bring your toes towards the sky.
Gently roll off the ball. We're going to sit back up again. We're going to get a side of the body we typically don't get. It's the front side of the body. So we're going to come back into kneeling. Where your rib cage comes together is a little thing called your xiphoid process. Unless you've done this at least like 12 weeks, you're staying off your xiphoid process. You're going to be really careful of your costal chondral junctions over here. If you have long floating ribs, you're also going to be careful of those. We're going to take this ball, we're going to go clockwise, counterclockwise, top to bottom, side to side. And the way we're going to do this is in a push-up position on your belly. You're going to move clockwise, counterclockwise, top to bottom, side to side, just careful of the architecture that I just mentioned. You can even go on your elbows and even on your knees. Try having your butt higher than your head or your head higher than your butt. We're trying all variation. Remember, sharp pain is gas. Dull, achy pain is fecal material. That's a fancy word for poop. Deep, boring pain is blood stagnation or adhesion, so it's important to break this up. There should be no pain. Smiles are up. If you find a spot that's particularly sore, you can sit on top of it till it breaks up. You'll find immediately if you have to go to the bathroom or not. Oh, so I got to tell you how how classes started when I started teaching way back when. I taught at a yoga studio, and they said, "Can you make a class for elderly people?" And I said, "Yes, I can." Oh. And I'm like, "What would the focus be?" And they're like, "Elderly people." And I'm like, "Thank you." But it turns out the biggest reason people came to my class was constipation. So I named the class Finding the Flow. And it took on a different meaning once these guys came to class. But it was amazing. I have a group consistently at 8 a.m. And you know when they would just suddenly leave. Class was over. Yeah. Okay? All right, good job. We're going to work above the diaphragm now, above that xiphoid process as you roll over your sternum and gently, gently, gently over breast tissue into your armpits and even your throat. You're doing this on all fours with no pressure on the ball, a tiny little bit of pressure, or you can drop a lot of pressure, whatever feels safe. Visualize what you're doing. You're working out lymphatics to your breast, your chest, your lungs, your thyroid, your thymus, liver, stomach, spleen, pancreas. You're continuing the good work that you did in your abdomen, on your intestines and your kidneys and reproductive organs. You're just getting everything moving from the front side.
And you can move your arm around as well to get the range of motion as you work your pecs.
Ooh. Again, you can go on your belly if you'd like.
But most importantly, keep breathing.
Careful with hair, jewelry, clothing, and drawstrings. So I did forget, so next time you guys come, you're all going to sign release waivers.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to print them up.
Like constipation.
Yeah. You're responsible for cleaning up any mess you make. Okay, from here, it's really easy. You're going to roll on the backside. So this is just the backside of the front. So I know that sounds kind of obvious, but we have to stop thinking of our body as compartments and separate. It's a whole. And we have the notion of compartments just to give orientation on the body. You can twist, or you can do what Maria's doing and do more rolling.
Just be careful with your hair.
It will ruthlessly rip out hair. I used to say that for the women, but I had this one guy.
And it looked like he had two toupees in his armpits. Yeah, you would do that. That's why I don't use white balls anymore. He used to put his armpit on it because he liked wearing tank tops, and he would go, "Look, it has hair," and I'm like, okay, now we're gonna get super crazy as you go on your back, and this ball goes under your head like a pillow. Your goal is to roll the back of your head against the ball. And I want you to notice something as you're doing that. It's coming out kind of square feeling. It's not really round feeling. We're going to change that in a second as you change directions. And this is why it's important to know where in the body we're supposed to be in order to create motion. This is actually important to the dancers. Now I want you to pretend you have about a 10-foot long pencil on the tip of your nose. And you're going to draw circles on the ceiling with that pencil, and you'll notice the motion on the back of your head suddenly becomes circular. Because you've changed the center point, or the point of reference of where you're making the movement, and now you're getting a circular motion instead of a square motion. And that's why when you hear dancers, they say, "Come out of your body to dance, extend." You're thinking, what do they mean? And it means this, is to get mechanically the correct motion and the correct energy out of the joint. Now breathe. Okay. Last but not least, you're going to put your back against a roller. Hands are behind your head. Get your hair out of the way. Watch your clothing. We're going to do some spinal rolling. As you roll towards us, your heels go up. As you roll away from us, your toes go up. You may hear snap, crackle, and pop of your vertebrae and your ribs re-articulating, and that's totally okay. Just breathe. If you want to add a twist to get one shoulder more than the other, you can definitely add a twist. Your smiles are up. Jaws relaxed. Make sure you're breathing, you're not in resistance. And then you're going to go completely on your left side. We're going to work Cuban motion as you lift and lower your rib cage, rolling your armpit. You can take your arms over the top of your head. That'll give you more opportunity to work range of motion. Smiles are up. Careful of your hair. That would be your infraspinatus. So if you tip back like this, you'll get what's called your infraspinatus. If you're on over the top of your shoulder, you're getting your teres major, teres minor. If you lean all the way forward, you'll get something called your serratus anterior. So these are getting some very important shoulder muscles to open up. You can do the other side whenever you feel like it. Oh. This will help you with the overhead bends. Roll it out. Work that Cuban motion. Notice if you feel this into your neck. You shouldn't, but you might. Okay, then we're going to get into the rest position. The roller goes under your head like a pillow. I have to make sure I do this for last, or Mario becomes very uncooperative because it gets her in the habit of saying no. You're going to turn your head left and right and just say no. This is okay to say no. It's the holidays. It's the best time to say no. No, I will not fly to Wisconsin in the winter, a week before Christmas. Did you hear how much air flights are off this island the week before Thanksgiving? It's like 2.5 times.
Yeah, so a seat that was normally like $700 is like $1,400 to $2,400. Yeah, a family that I know is flying to Florida, and it's normally like $600 or $700. They can get flights, and they're flying coach at $2,600 a seat. Yeah. Keep breathing. All right. Now you're going to lay on your roller lengthwise. Make sure your head's on the roller, your butt's on the roller, your feet are flat on the ground and parallel. Your knees are over tops of your feet. It should sound familiar because this is athletic ready posture. Your lower extremities are bent, your upper extremity is long, and your head's over the top of your body. You're going to engage your first, second, and third chakra. Your first chakra is your pelvic floor. Your second chakra is your third chakra, we're going to close up. That's your rib cage. Third chakra, you're going to breathe from as you draw your navel to your spine and your spine to the roller as you inhale and exhale. Notice what you're feeling. Notice if you got a shimmy or shake and try to clean it up so you're becoming motionless. If you have a shimmy or shake while you're breathing, that means your diaphragm is not opening up uniformly. And that will cause all sorts of muscular compensation. So just breathe in and out. And then we're going to work Maria's favorite breathing drill. We're going to try to stretch out the lungs a little bit as you inhale in. Hold your breath, and then inhale again without exhaling. Hold your breath, and inhale again a third time. Hold your breath, and then completely exhale all the air out of your lungs. Then do it again. Inhale in. And then inhale in again. And inhale in again on top of that. And exhale out. Inhale in. And inhale again. And one more time. Exhale out. You guys continue to do that. You're working on something called hysteresis. Hysteresis is the compliance of the lungs and how much their normal excursion is. We're trying to increase hysteresis, so we're trying to increase your lung capacity. This is cold and flu season, and what's interesting, in Eastern medicine, this is lung and large intestine time. And because everything is drying during this period, we tend to make our breath more shallow. Whereas the way we keep things hydrated in our system is by breathing. Maria sent me a funny meme about this time of year. It says, first we have a holiday based on candy, and then we have a holiday based upon desserts and food, and then we have a holiday based upon food and desserts and cookies, followed very quickly by a holiday based on drinking. And we wonder why we get sick. So one of the hardest things on the human body, even though it's the most fun, is refined sugar. It takes a lot to process. And in that processing, it affects a lot of our biochemistry. And a newer piece that science is getting is that dementia,
or Alzheimer's is considered diabetes type 3. So it has to do with sugar handling. So instead of removing sugar completely out of your system, just be smart. But more importantly, during this time of year, just breathe. You are in athletic ready posture. Your feet are flat on the ground, your knees are bent. Your torso is elongated, your head's over the body. First, second, and third chakras are active and dynamic. And what's interesting is you're in the center point of your body, which means you're just millimeters away from meditation. Meditation is nothing fancier than breathing and being in a place that's so centered, there's absolutely no resistance. You guys have done an amazing job. And on behalf of Maria and me, we'd like to say thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us and be willing to try all the crazy things we ask of you. We appreciate you so very much. Namaste.
Namaste.